Ronnie McGee.
The last time we saw each other, Scott, was Christmas, where you did a great session for me. And what have you been up to? You've been so busy. An American tour.
Yes, I've been very privileged, Ronnie, to be in the wonderful state of Wisconsin for that's the fourth time, I believe. I've got a little bit of a following over there, so kind of makes sense at my age to kind of go. I'm still young.
Of course you are.
It kind of makes sense to go back where people are quite appreciative of your music. So, and it just seems to be building a little bit there. So, I was back in Wisconsin in March of this year. 2 weeks, and it was like full on. It was the best ever. I played, you name it, I played it like schools, jail.
You were doing about 3 gigs a day.
Sometimes I was. That's what it felt like. But I loved it.
It's great to get the music out there. I mean, how does it feel when you're going into a school as opposed to a prison?
Well, school, honestly, as you know the size of the schools in the States, they're arguably your biggest crowd you'll ever play to.
Yeah.
Because, you know, they can have the whole, like from 12 to 18-year-olds on the bleachers and all the teachers as well, and you're singing to hundreds. And it's just an amazing feeling. And the cool thing is, there's a bit of an angle because you're Scottish and they want to ask questions and, you know, and surprisingly, a lot of Americans don't even get out of America, so they're quite inquisitive. And they love the Scots. They absolutely do.
They have a thing for the Scots over there.
They absolutely do. So I hopefully have some Americans listening right now.
Yeah,
so.
certainly hope so. I know I was chatting with Gina on Facebook the other night there, so I was, and she was looking forward to hearing this.
Yeah.
She was covering all the bases, saying, Ronnie, can you send me a copy of it? I said, well, I did tell her it's going to be filmed and things like that, and hopefully we'll get it on.
Well, she's great. She's got a great team around her, so I'm really honoured that they do so much for me.
I mean, you tell me you've been to prison, obviously, just to perform. I'll hasten to add. And do they, I mean, when you go into a prison, I get this picture of people just bundled into a big hall. You will listen to Scott Nicol, but it's not like that. They really love the music.
I think a lot of people feel forced to listen to my music. Only kid. No, over there, and I have played in prisons here in Scotland.
Yeah.
But did play in one over there. It was a big kind of maximum security, and you know, okay, they might not have a lot to do, but they're not forced to come out and listen. They don't have to. And played in one out there, and it was absolutely mobbed, absolutely packed. And those guys, I played for about an hour and a quarter, mainly original material, and they sang any chance they could, even to songs of mine that they'd never heard before. And it was actually quite a thing. But the last trip there, I played in a jail. They make the difference from a jail and a prison. And it was a smaller room, and they brought less prisoners in, like, they brought all the guys that wanted to come in and all the girls that wanted to come in, because it was a mixed prison. And it was probably the most emotionally charged I've ever played. Very difficult if you're... The second session was just all the lady prisoners they brought in, and this girl actually started crying on my second song, and I don't think it was because it was that bad. She actually was really touched, and it was like so emotional from that moment. It's quite a thing.
That comes over, I have to say, I mean, your last album was The Burning Days. That would be about 18 months ago now that came out.
It was July of 2012. So it's only a year ago. It's only a year. Yeah.
It's a great album. I mean, a lot of great songs on it, and a lot of the passion does come out in the words.
Yes, I think so.
So I mean, what drives you to write songs like that?
Well, I am driven in some ways by words and phrases. I'm a lyricist primarily. I don't particularly think I'm a phenomenal singer. I mean, I know I can connect with people, and I'm more of a live performer, and that's the kind of what I want to do. Is I want to write something that I feel reaches people, and that's what I'm after. I have written some love songs in my time, but basically I'm not interested in writing just a kind of... I feel as though the world has thousands of love songs. I want to try and write something a little bit that's going to reach somebody maybe in another way, and I try to pick out artistic things that are just going to connect with people.
I mean,
that's what I'm after.
A friend asked me, he said, how would you describe Scott Nicol's music and his lyrics? And the only thing I could think of, his lyrics paint a vista, a landscape.
Wow.
I mean, you listen to a song and you can connect with what's going on in the song, and
Well,
I think that's a great thing.
Thank you very much.
Anyway,
I'll try
the last album was a year ago. I mean, these days people put out albums every 2, 3, 4 years,
Yeah.
but I know you're keen to actually get some new material out there as well.
Well, I've got for the tour. I went on tour there in March,
Yeah.
and I knew I wasn't going to get I knew I wasn't going to be satisfied with putting an album out by that time. So what I did, I went into John Duffy's studio. John's a good friend of mine. He's a great musician.
He is that.
And I cut 10 demos. I had 10 new songs. I had more than 10. I did 10 in the studio. And I got Lorraine, as you know. Lorraine came in and sang on some backing vocals. Kerry McWhinney, a young singer from Clinton, came in and sang in 3. And then I just played bass. I mean, I'm not like the bass player, but with my own songs, it was demos, and I played bass, and I played acoustic, I played electric, and that is really the demo. But you know, it came out really well. We printed some copies, and I sold them in the States. I told people this is demos of the new song, still sold really well. I was honest enough to say this is not like a proper album.
I think people these days do like to hear I love when I've bought what you would term as a classic album by an artist, and then years later they bring out the deluxe version, and then you get a CD of demos.
Yes.
That interests me more than the actual polished product.
Well, you see a song in formation, forming.
Yeah.
I mean, I know I'm a massive Springsteen fan. We're actually going to see him at Hampton the week tonight. But you know, like you just said, I've got many of his DVDs and things, and you see songs forming from nothing, and really that's what. I'm not comparing him, but it's the same process with me. You put out a song, you demo it, then you put a band around it, and it evolves a bit.
It's layers. You add the layers to the song,
and I find that really interesting as well as a songwriter.
Yeah. I mean, get back to Bruce there. He plays Glasgow on Tuesday. One of my favourite acoustic tracks of Bruce's is acoustic version of Born in the USA. It's a totally different song.
Totally different song.
It's a real kind of bluesy song.
I've even heard him doing an acoustic version of Born to Run, which you think almost couldn't be done, but he's done it. So, well, he's definitely my biggest musical inspiration.
Yeah.
And kind of, I suppose, biggest musical influence. But I've got many others, and since that demo came out in March, I've written some more songs.
Yeah.
So if I go back to finish to a proper album, it will be extended from the 10 demo.
Or you may end up having an album where very few of those demos may actually make it on it. And that makes the people who bought the CD over in America, that makes it all the more special to them.
It does, that's right.
So Scott, you have a new single coming out on the 21st of June, and you've given me the demo. Now we'll listen to the demo version of it, and then we'll play a wee snippet of the actual song. So what's it called?
The track is called The Excitement That You Bring.
And it is causing a lot of excitement over in America.
Yeah.
I can tell you. I've had some communications which I'll read out after the song. So we'll play the track. We'll be back to Scott very, very shortly.
Thank you very much.
There you go, Scott. I'm already singing along with the track there. So what we're going to do now, that is the demo version. We're going to play a minute or so of the single. So we'll play that now.
So can I just say it, Ronnie, would you mind? Can I? Yes,
of course you can.
This song is called The Excitement That You Bring, and it's been recorded. I recorded it for the first time ever in the States.
Yeah.
I'd been a few times, but never recorded. And I've got a band that play for me and with me in Wisconsin called the Luminous Storm.
Yeah.
So it was recorded with them. It wasn't recorded with my band here.
Yeah.
So we had never I'd never recorded in the States, and they had never recorded with me. So it was recorded in Steve Riley's studio, and it really was just a few hours work. And then it's obviously been tweaked a bit in the studio from being mixed. But it's coming out on itacd.com on the 21st of June, and I will be posting a direct link to buy it. So itacd.com, 21st of June. Thank you very much for playing.
Ronnie McGee.
The excitement that you bring there, Scott. Yes, first play.
Ooh.
So it was, love it. Anyway, we've got a couple of wee communications here, so I've got a couple of things here. This one says, Scott's new single, The Excitement That You Bring, was written about the United States, but it could be about anywhere. This song, like his others, comes from the heart and reflects the passion within him for life. Looking on the sunny side of things, even when things don't go your way, and being young enough in spirit to be ready for the excitement that life brings. Not a bad philosophy. And that was Karen Bodden from Beaver Dam.
Wow.
So it was.
Karen, if you're listening, thank you very much.
And this one here, this is Gina. No one is more excited here in the state of Wisconsin than me for Scott's new single to be released, which was recorded in the town I grew up in. It's so amazing that a little over 2 years ago I first met Scott and heard his music, which opened my heart and inspired my life. He has hence become a great friend and someone I believe to be a rising star. It is truly a privilege that I'm able to work with him to promote his music. The excitement that you bring, I know, was inspired by the city of New York, but I feel Scott Nicol has brought so much excitement to the state of Wisconsin and his fans here that something is missing when he isn't here. When he decided to record this song here in Wisconsin with the Luminous Storm, I felt how fitting. I have seen how the momentum mounts up each time he has been here. His music was such an inspiration to bass guitarist and recording producer Steve Riley that he decided to form a band with drummer David Olson and lead guitarist Jerry Gordon. These men are professional musicians with many years of experience in other bands. It's truly remarkable that they have dedicated their time to learn several of Scott's songs in order to put together concerts in theatres and parks, let alone record this amazing song, which has the potential to become a number one hit.
Woohoo! Go Gina! Thank you.
Everybody, I mean, you're one of these musicians, Scott, where everybody wants to hear it. They know what you're about, and they appreciate the music that's there. The Burning Days, fabulous album.
Thank you.
So it is. I mean, I've always got like the best she's fearless going through my head.
Yeah.
So I have. And swimming, I played Swimming in the Waters of Civilization earlier.
Yeah.
So great. So what we're going to do, we'll play another old track. This is It's Too Beautiful.
Oh, wow, that's like 2005.
That's a long time ago. But this is a track I love because of the blend of genres. You've got you singing, then you've got the kind of rapper coming in.
Well, can I say, that this song is actually a true story.
Yeah.
I had a friend who were really close, and then, I'm not going into details, but something happened and we split. And then we met after about a year, and there was a bit of an awkwardness and kind of some words said and whatever, and I went home a few days later and I wrote this song, and I didn't realise what it was about that I was writing, seriously. Yeah. But then it dawned on me what I was writing about, and I actually recorded it and sent it to the guy, and it actually had the desire. When you check the lyrics out, it actually had the effect that I wrote about, because he called me within minutes of listening to it.
Wow.
And we actually patched up our relate, because it's about broken friendship.
Yes.
So the song's about, and it actually happened.
Anyway, here we go.
So
Scott Nicol. It's Too Beautiful. After this track, hopefully Scott will get the guitar out and we'll hear something live.
Urban Beat FM.
2005, Scott, that would be Stunning Silence?
Yes.
Yeah. I remember, I know I've talked about this story before. I mean, you first came on my radar, you were supporting an American singer-songwriter at the Hack.
Yeah.
And I remember my friend and I were chatting to you then, because he was a guitarist as well. And we were yelping away, and I went, yeah, I'm always picking. I love picking up albums. Yeah. I love supporting artists, so I pick up the album, pay my money, and I take it home and I listen to it. And it was a great album.
Thank you.
So it was.
I actually played, surprisingly, I played the track Stunning Silence like 2 nights ago. I haven't played it for long enough.
Made you?
It just came into my mind. I've actually been writing a song. The latest lyrics I've been writing is called The Silent Youth.
Yeah.
And I think it was just the word silent was in my mind. It triggered it, and I played it, and I loved it. I hadn't heard it for ages.
But is that not the beauty of it? I mean, Scott, I listen to songs and they go out my mind for ages, and I hear it on the radio, and it'll make me want to revisit everything. I mean, well, that Eagles documentary, it was on the telly weekend, phenomenal, and it's made me now want to revisit all their albums. So it has, and it must be the same when you're a songwriter. You put songs to the back, you've played them, and new songs supersede them, and then all of a sudden into your brain comes the lyric, and that's you back there.
Well, for me, I know, and I think it'll be the same as a lot of people, it's kind of going to be fresh for me. When you play, I do play quite a lot of gigs, and I've never been one of these kind of people that's comfortable just going out and doing the same set of songs every night. It's harder with a band because you're more limited in the time you can spend in what songs. If you're a solo artist like me as well, you can chop and change your set, and I like to keep it fresh, and that means you may go back to something you haven't played for long enough because it becomes fresh again.
Very true. Anyway, you've got your guitar there. What's the first song you're going to perform?
I'm going to do a new song. This is called Drenched in the Dew of Tomorrow. And I wrote the lyrics in Wisconsin in March, and then I worked on it when I came home.
Scott Nicol live on IrvineBeatFM.com.
Drenched in the dew of tomorrow, swimming in the wildest of dreams, ready to go so much further in my mind than I've ever been, refusing to stop in this moment, settle for all that I've known, drenched in the dew of tomorrow. I'm a king, I was made for a throne. Somebody should have told me that I could have had it all. I've been down so many times, but I got up after the fall, after the fire and the rain poured over me so much sorrow. But now I awake with new eyes, drenched in the dew of tomorrow. My family, I love, precious things I hold dear. I'll walk away from anything that breathes fear. The future's a place I know I live, and my heart bleeds with the need to give and to give. Keep on giving till my hands, they sweat, and everything all around me, drenched in the dew of tomorrow, drenched in the dew of tomorrow again. We ride this train together, thundering down the track, always looking ahead, never looking back. But what do I do now is the question. What do I do is the quest. Whatever it is, by the grace of God, I will try to do my best. 'Cause my family I love, precious things I hold dear. I'll walk away from anything that breathes fear. The future's a place where I know I live. My heart bleeds with the need to give and to give. Keep on giving till my hands, they sweat, everything all around me is drenched in the dew of tomorrow, drenched in the dew of tomorrow again. my own. It's all mine, it's not borrowed. I left the dream closer than it seems. I've been drenched in the dew of tomorrow. Yes, I'm drenched in the dew of tomorrow.
Love that. Sounded fabulous, Scott.
Thank you.
Drenched in the dew of tomorrow. You love those great song titles.
Oh well, I had actually written a set of lyrics the day before I wrote that, and in that set of lyrics was that line, and drenched in the dew of tomorrow, and I thought that is too good a line just to be in another song.
Yeah.
So I knew that the next day that was going to be my song. So I just started with a line, and that's what came out.
I mean, you are a prolific songwriter, Scott. I mean, how many songs would you say you probably put together in about a week?
On a week?
Aye.
I don't put a lot of songs together in a week.
No, I don't mean a full body of work in a week. I mean, do you think you've probably put a song together in a week, or hide the seeds of a song?
No, I suppose I'm always searching.
Yeah.
And I'm always open. And I'll take note sometimes of a quote that someone said or something, even a word just kind of grabs me sometimes. In fact, there was something recently I saw the phrase break the silence. And that's what led me to start a lyric called The Silent Youth,
Yeah.
which is very recent that I've done. So that was it. Break the silence led me into something else. So I'm always open, but I'm not like writing a song every week, but I always like to have kind of something simmering.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? It's.
I mean, we talk about. I mean, we played Sean Kennedy earlier,
Yeah.
and if I have a chat with Sean, say, "What you doing doing this week?" He said, "Oh, I'm in the studio tomorrow." Oh, you're laying down some. No, I say, "I'm just going to try and put some songs together and some ideas together." So he's obviously in his studio at home, kind of jamming away and getting ideas.
Sean's amazing. If he's listening, I spoke to him last night, and he actually played "Crystallize," which is at the beginning. When I came in, which is an amazing song. And you know, I'm part of it as well. I feel very privileged to be at times you even just know other musicians and be a part of each other's lives. There's tremendous talent in Asia.
Oh,
there
there
absolutely
is,
is tremendous talent.
It is. We'll talk about how we'll play a track and then we'll come back and we'll talk about how you are imparting your knowledge into younger people. We'll talk about the route after this.
Great.
Beat FM.
As a track taken from an album featuring today the band Luna Rossa, and the album's called Sleeping Pills and Lullabies. Of course, they are singer-songwriter Anne-Marie Hilder and Jonathan Edwards, whose daytime job is playing with Panic Room, a kind of proggy rock, kind of folky band, if you can kind of picture that. But great band, and you were looking at the cover and you thought it was actually a really good product.
A really good product. I'm very, very impressed by it.
They seem to do quite well. All the bands, a lot of bands in Wales just now. I mean, like Panic Room, you've got Luna Rossa, you've got Magenta, you've got Old God, The Reasoning, bands that are playing on Monday night on my rock show, and they all release their own stuff.
Yeah.
So they do. Some of them have got a deal now through Cherry Red Records. So they have.
Maybe I should knock on their door.
Hey, listen, you were just talking there about how you get gigs. I mean, just making phone calls and things, and that's how it happens.
Well, the first time I ever went to America, I had been to America, but the first time I played in America, I got gigs from I just phoned radio stations, venues, called them from my house, and because I had a website that could check me out, and I got gigs, I got on TV, got on radio just from phoning people. I had no management, no nothing. You just got to brass naked sometimes.
Yeah. Occasionally, though, a great video on YouTube does it as well.
Oh, it does, yes.
I mean, New York City Summer's Day, brilliant. It's still a great video to watch.
And Martin Bowen did a great job. I still think it's a great video. I still think it's a hit song.
Anyway, we were talking just before we played the track there by Luna Rossa, how you are imparting your knowledge on the business onto younger people. Tell me a bit about the route.
Well, hopefully I'm in part of it. But I'm part of, I work for a charity called The Root, which is based in Prestwick. And it was founded by a lady called Betty Crawford, who's still...
I've met Betty.
Yeah. She's great, and I work with her. And I suppose my role is, obviously music's my kind of thing. So I really help more put on events.
Yeah.
And in fact, tomorrow night, if I can just plug this, we have the first gig we've had for a little while. 7 p.m. till 9 tomorrow night, 121 Main Street, Prestwick. It's now Bramley's Coffee Shop. It used to be the Garden Bistro. And we have Josh Breaks, Elisa Poley and Rebecca Head tomorrow night. 3 great young acts.
Lisa is a very, very good singer.
She's great. She's great. And the other 2 are top notch. So I am... We have a lot of kind of open mics, and I've been working with kids that come and they get a bit of talent and they're maybe a little bit shy or whatever. And my kind of role, I suppose, is seeing emerging talent and try and bring it out to what it could be, see the potential. And I'm doing it, and I kind of do it on a week-to-week basis, and we're having some success with it. And it's I suppose what you should be when you get older is be a bit of a mentor. I'm quite a good tormentor, but you should be able to pass on your knowledge. So, in fact, tomorrow afternoon we have a lunchtime open mic in Prestwick Academy, and the last one we had over 400 people there. You wouldn't believe it.
Wow!
We actually couldn't get everybody on, so
you had so many people wanting to take part.
They couldn't. And every week we have that we do it, and tomorrow we're back in there. So that's in the afternoon, and then at night with Graffiti for the Soul at Bramley's Coffee Shop. Yeah. It'd be a great gig.
I would love to come along, but I'm heading to the SCCC tomorrow night. I've got the Who tomorrow night.
Oh, what? The Who?
Yeah.
Wow.
Good to see them. That was a ticket that just fell in my lap today.
Wow.
So it was, so I'm looking forward to that.
You deserved it.
Anyway, Scott, we get another song in
there. Can I stand for this one?
Of course you can, of course you can.
I'll rock
Move the microphone to Suits.
I'll rock out a bit with this one.
Yeah. I'll describe the action at the moment. Scott is putting on his guitar. Chris is adjusting the video player, because we are actually videoing this today. Yeah. You want to move the microphone up? That's us. That should be you fine.
Okay.
Chris is indicating something to me, but he can't.
Oh yeah.
See these film directors. Oh, you want to move the screen? There we go.
Yeah, you got to get the.
We need to learn sign language.
It's all high tech.
So we need to learn sign language. So we do. Yeah. Anyway, what have we got?
We're going to do Electric City.
Oh yes, I've heard about this song.
Okay, we'll just go for it.
We just go for it, Scott.
I was born in an electric city. 100,000 volts running through my veins. Now I live in high velocity, with a wildness that cannot be tamed. I have a scorched earth policy, stand against my enemy, relentless such ferocity. This is my time, this is the urgency. I was born in an electric city. Now I spark on waves of revelation. I won't be caged, confined, I will be free. Part of a riot and a divine revolution. Pulsating rhythms, travel beats. I walk with purpose as I pound the streets. You know that I don't want to know defeat. There's a vortex under my feet. Hey, I was born in an electric city. Keep my interest sharp, blurred awake and be blind. I will be free. My resistance real, 'cause I'm no fake. And I will do what I must do today. I need to face it, I won't turn away. Another revolution's on its way. Constant changes here to stay. And I feel a sense of an emergency inside the walls of this electric city. I was born in an electric city. 100,000 volts running through my veins. I will be caged, you know, 'cause I will be free. Oh, wildness cannot be tamed. So wildness cannot be tamed with the wildness. Cannot be tamed with the wildness. Cannot be tamed 'cause I was born in an electric city.
Wow. I remember, I think you had a video of that on recorded in America. Did you do the song there?
I think so. Was it not from King Tut's?
Oh, it was King Tut's, yes. And I remember you saying, I always wonder where the high velocity came from. That's the song.
Yeah.
like
Well,
that.
I've actually, the demo that I put out for the States was called High Velocity.
Yeah.
Because I had the line in 2 songs.
Ah, I see.
And it made sense, but we just to say, we actually just played King Tut's. That was 18th of May,
Yeah.
which was amazing. Gig.
That was the CD gig, wasn't
Yes,
it? Yeah.
and we had Awaken and we had Union State. It was a great turnout, great crowd, and we were on last. And sometimes, if you're not a headline act, you think, is this the best slot? But it actually was a great slot,
Yeah.
and we smashed it. We just rocked the crowd.
Absolutely.
And we're actually playing again. If I can just mention, if anybody's listening and wants to come, I'm actually playing this Thursday in the Pony in Glasgow, supporting Daughters of Davis, who are an amazing Welsh. You were talking about Welsh artists.
Yeah.
They are amazing, and I'm privileged to be supporting them Thursday night. And then 22nd in Troon, 22nd of June, Full Throttle Festival.
Oh, yeah.
So many amazing bands, a one-day festival, bringing so much quality to Troon. And then 29th, if anybody wants to come and see me, and it's called the Buff Club, which is an unusual name in Glasgow. It's in Bath Street.
Yeah.
We're actually supporting a New Zealand rock band is on tour. So if anybody wants to come and support, that would be great. Thank you.
Fantastic, Scott. Listen, we'll get another song from you just shortly.
Yeah.
And we'll play a wee acoustic track. This is Judy Took.
Ronnie McGee.
Urban Beat FM.
That's Judy Suki there, and stay with me till dawn. I think I'll just get Scott to stay here till dawn. He can perform all night. I was saying there, I would love to catch you doing a full set. So would you better bring that down? Yeah, it's okay. It doesn't make too much of a noise when you pull it down there. It does. I would love to catch you on a gig where I could say to myself, I'm going to listen to Scott for about 90 minutes for a whole gig.
Well, that's the kind of things that we're doing in America. I don't get too many of them over here, but
Yeah.
we played a theatre over there with a band. It was like absolutely gorgeous, this old theatre. And must have played for at least 2 hours.
Wow.
On a great sound and a great stage. It was superb, actually.
I mean, how much, like you, when you had the Burning Days out last year, how much of that did you actually manage to perform live?
Probably most of it at some point. I think I did every song. There's obviously, it's like with any album, there's songs that become, you've got to play them.
Yes.
There's others that are more optional. But that is the beauty of me doing solo as well as with the band. I can
Yeah.
There's one song in the Burning Days called Maria,
Beautiful song.
which I would never do on a whim. You can't do it. You've got to pick your moments
Yeah.
for that song. So there's a song that would never be at every concert. You just wouldn't do it. But we started the interview really. We talked about me playing in jail in America.
Yeah.
Do you know I was in just there in March? It was the only time a guy who had been in the last time asked a request for me to sing that song.
I love one of my favourite tracks. My favourite track is "Romance of American Skies."
I like that.
I love that so good, and I was gutted that night at Oran Moor when Sean was launching his EP. You were about to do it, and the guy went, "No, that song," and you had to ditch it and go into Swimming in the Waters of Civilization.
Yeah. Right,
But these things happen, so they
it
do.
happens, yes.
So you've got the. Tell us a bit about the Troon thing.
Well, Full Throttle, I think, is a one-day event that was on last year for the first time, and it was supposed to be outdoors, but you can't in Scotland. Unfortunately, you can't guarantee
The weather.
So they made a call with the weather, and they had it in Seagate Church, which was very close by, and I think it was the correct decision with the weather. So everybody kind of piled in there and they set up PA and whatever. But it was a very successful day. It was really good.
So that is a whole day's music.
But this year they decided just to have it. They're going to have it in Seagate Church.
Yeah. So everything will be set up prior to
So you've got bands like Royal Foundlings, amazing Scottish rock band, full-time band. I mean, you're not getting that many that are full-time, and they're great. Awaken, who are great. There's MP3, who's a rapper guy, is fantastic. Amy Aitken, friend of mine, she's singing there. Steph McLeod, he is sensational. So I hope I'm not missing anybody out. If there's anybody listening, apologies. And we're on Scott Nicol and the Limitless Sky.
Yeah. I mean, you've been playing a lot with the band recently. So even in America, you get Luminous Sky, and over here, you've got... Oh God, what's that, man?
Luminous Storm.
Luminous Storm and Limitless Sky.
Yeah, there's a connection there.
There's definitely a connection. I can see a song connection there where you use both words in a lyric.
Well, the Limitless Sky, not to confuse the listeners, but the Limitless Sky came out of a song called Welcome to Dreamland.
Yeah.
And it actually says, I see potential limitless skies. That was the lyric. So I called the band Scott Nicol and the Limitless Sky.
Yeah.
We went to the States. It was a different band, so I couldn't call them the Limitless Sky. But I wanted something similar. And we had, if you can follow this, we had Storm the Winter Palace, so there's Storm.
Yeah, that's
That was the name of our album.
Yeah.
And I had an acoustic album called Luminous.
That's right.
So that's why I get the Luminous Storm.
That's
So
right, yeah.
there's the history if you're interested.
Oh wow! I was trying to think of. I mean, your Possibility Screams. That was one of your EPs, wasn't it?
Yeah.
That was a good EP.
Great. So that's with New York City Summer's Day on it.
I know. All of this stuff is still available, isn't it? I mean, you can still.
Yeah, it's still on
download all this
iTunes.
stuff,
Possibility
iTunes.
Screams on iTunes. Storm the Winter Palace and Burning Days are on etacd.com. And I think they're on CD Baby as well. And the new ones just says the Excitement You Bring, just the singles coming out 21st of June on etacd.com.
It's actually amazing how you. I mean, I'm old school. I will be the first to hold my hand up and say, yeah, I like a physical product and things. But
Well, so do I,
now,
so do I.
nowadays, when I hear from artists like yourself, or I'll catch a guy doing an acoustic gig in Glasgow, and I'll give him a card. I'll say, listen, I love that. When you've got something out, let me know.
Yeah.
And I had a guy. He texted me. He said, Ronnie, that's me. Got my new single out on iTunes. And it's so easy just to go on, click the button and get it. I will burn it up on a CD, obviously, and I'll play it. But it's great. You just get into a way of doing that now.
Well, I mean, I still listen to most of my music when I'm driving, so I need a CD.
Yeah.
Well, I know you can plug MP3 through it or whatever, iPods, but I still, I was driving up the night listening to the Gaslight Anthem on CD
Fantastic.
in my cars. That's where I listen to music mainly.
Yeah. But Bruce on Tuesday, it'll be interesting. I feel as though the Wrecking Ball tour has been going on forever.
It has, but I've been catching bits and pieces on YouTube and going up, and even from a few days ago in Milan, he was in Italy, and he's still the boss, isn't he?
He's been doing full albums on some of the sets.
Yes,
I mean, he's been doing Born to Run. He did the other night.
Yeah.
And I think Born in the USA has been done as well, from start to finish. I love that concept where bands will pick an album. I can see it in time, 10 years time, Scott Nicol coming on, and you'll do. I'll finally hear the whole Burning Days album done from start to finish. So
well, thank you, but I actually think that's a great album as well, Ronnie. And I wanted to thank you for you really do promote local musicians, and thank you very much for what you've done for me. And I know you've mentioned Sean a couple of times, but I'm sure he would say the same.
Yeah.
Other so thank you.
I mean,
Appreciate it.
I just have a philosophy that good music deserves to be heard, and that's it.
Yep.
And if a community radio station can't be here for people that are local, it shouldn't be here.
Yep.
And it's great to support people like yourself.
Here, here.
Anyway, before I start getting embarrassed and getting tears and getting all emotional and things like that, you're going to do another song for us.
Yes.
I've put him on the spot now, so I have. He gets his guitar.
So when you move that.
Are we standing up or sitting down?
Yes, standing up.
Oh well, I'll let you adjust the microphone again.
And we'll,
And that means
this here needs to-
Chris will go around and get the other one. So what's the song we're going to...
I'm going to do one from the Burning Days, which is Now Is the Time.
Oh,
And I've been playing this recently when I've been doing some concerts, and I've just been enjoying it again. I've just been enjoying
Are
the
you
song.
surprised when that happens, when you bring... I know that's not an old song as such,
No.
but when you discover, is it a surprise when you actually get the desire to perform some old songs again?
Yeah, and as you say, it's not an old song, but it was never a song that I oversung, even when the Burning Days came out. So it's always felt kind of fresh.
Yep.
And just kind of revisited it and really been enjoying it. So this is Now Is the Time.
Excellent.
Everybody's going somewhere, or are they? We can move but just stay standing still. The difference is chasing the dream that leads you home. So many people on the planet circling the mountain. Tell me when will the cycle end? For the masses of humanity, they're all screaming out, longing to be heard. But now is the time, the revolution to begin. Now is the time for sacrifice. Change will come, wash away your fears. Tears will dry, the hands of love. Hands of love. Under the radar, no we're on the radio. It's in the air, it's in the air. The atmosphere, breath on a glass, it's just so near. Just so near. You were closer than the one we see, breaking through the clouds, raining down tears of love. Now is the time, the revolution to begin. Now is the time for sacrifice. Change will come, wash away your fear. Tears will dry, the hands of love, the hands of love, the hands of love. Revelation just like poems on a page, tearing at the rage, reciting visions of hope. We stand now on solid ground, far away from no man's land. No man's land. For the revolution to begin. Now is the time for sacrifice. Change will come and wash away your fears. Tears will dry, and the hands of love, 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 hands of love.
Fabulous. Now, Scott, you have not only been over in America, but you've done things in France. You've been doing a festival in Paris.
No, it wasn't Paris.
It wasn't Paris.
It was actually Lille, which is very close to Belgium.
Yeah.
I can't quite remember, but I flew into Belgium. I think it was Brussels. I can't remember what one, but I flew into Belgium and I was picked up. So that was last November.
Yeah.
And my bass player Steve, he loves France so much. He was like, I am coming to that. It was like he never even asked. So Steve came with. Well, we didn't actually travel together.
Yeah.
I met him there, and we actually. It was a phenomenal situation. They were setting up. And there was a guy in the sound, and I got this guy. He was a drummer and a guitarist. I'd never met them before in my life, but they were on in the festival.
Yeah.
And I'm talking to this French guy, and I'm saying, "Can you just keep a beat for me? We'll just got. I've got my bass player." And he was like, "I'm not very good at improvising." They were really, really humble.
Yeah.
This is not one word of exaggeration on it. You'd have thought we had rehearsed for a week. They were so good. They were so good. This guy, not good at improvisation. It just was like, you'd have thought we had spent like a week in the studio. It was incredible. We actually went on. First night, not even any. I don't even think we rehearsed one song. We smashed it.
Wow.
And then the next night we played as well. Two nights in a row. I think it was a festival. Friday, Saturday. Amazing, great experience. And I've played in Gothenburg, I think, as well as in Sweden.
Yeah.
Obviously, I've played in London many times, but hoping to. I've applied tonight for Icelandic Airwaves Festival in October.
Fantastic.
So applied. You can apply up to the 5th of July. So let's hope I'm successful.
Scott Nicol goes worldwide.
Well, I've got certain places on my to-do list that I want to play, and Iceland was one of them. And I applied just tonight. So yeah.
I hope you get it.
So I hope I get it as well. And
thank goodness we're cheap airfare.
I know.
But no, Scott, it's been an absolute pleasure having you in today, so it is. And when we go full time on FM, we'll get you in again.
I would love to. I'd be honoured to come in.
Because it's great coming in. I get to hear all this new material that you've been writing, and I tell everybody, there's nothing like it in live radio when you have an artist who's basically 4 feet in front of you performing. Yeah. Performing for the audience, but also performing for me. It's just an amazing feeling.
Thank you.
And it's just great to hear those new songs.
Thank you very much.
I look forward to having you back in again sometime soon.
Thank you.
I know I always promise this, but I'll get this edited up and I'll get it to you. But you get it
you
eventually.
Yeah, sure.
So you do. You get it eventually. But Scott Nicol, thank you very much for coming to
Thank you very much.
FM.com.
Thanks for Chris for the filming.
Yep, he's filmed. You'll get that footage as well.
Thank you.
So you will.
Urban Beat FM.